Elon Musk is destroying Twitter. I know. Starting April 15th, only verified accounts will be eligible for the For You recommendations. This is the only realistic way to address the advanced AI bot swarms taking over. It is otherwise a hopeless losing battle. Voting in polls will require verification for the same reason. Dude, he just keeps saying AI bot swarms to like try to make money, but in the dumbest way possible. I will never go on the For You page. It is so dog shit. Boss swarms are why there's no more check marks for notable figures. Makes sense. Yeah. Which also inherently removes the reason as to why. Because on April 1st, Elon Musk has stated that he's now removing legacy check marks, right? Legacy check marks such as myself. Now, it's funny because the only reason right now people even buy the $5 or $8, whatever it is, blue check marks is so they can dupe people into thinking for a brief moment that they have a legacy check mark. So if you remove the legacy check mark, you're basically, you know, you're basically making people, you're devaluing the product. You're devaluing the product, and now people don't have an incentive to buy it. Don't pay for the check mark. I will not be paying for the check mark, my friend. I do not care. So now the only people remaining with a blue check mark are going to be dorks that paid for it. But from what I understand, they will add a hide checkmark feature as well, because people said we're just going to block everyone with a blue check mark. So now Elon is like, oh, we're just going to hide them. And knowing how bad Elon Musk is at running a website, people will find it. As a brand, aren't you kind of forced, sadly, to grow your stream and clips sent to Twitter? I use Twitter for sourcing information. It's very important for news, especially real-time news. And since Elon's takeover, Twitter has been garbage. It's dog shit. The For You page is full of like weird right-wingers talking about trans people. It's all fight videos. Almost always a woman getting their ass beat. Like literally always with like, you know, sexyfights.com or whatever. Fight Haven, which I did follow at a certain point, which is really bad. It's a For You page, but it's objectively not for me. Like, I don't like any of the things I see on my For You page. Do you? Like TikTok, my For You page on TikTok is pretty good, right? When I go on TikTok, I see things that I'm interested in. When I go on Twitter, my For You page sucks. Like, it's all things that I'm not interested in. It's things that I don't want to see, like at all. It's like the reverse TikTok almost, where everything I don't want to see ends up on my For You page. I'm just like, please stop. Why is it on my For You page? Wait, can I look right now? Let's see. Also, desktop Twitter is a little bit weird. Desktop Twitter is not as bad. Desktop Twitter is not as bad as iPhone or like on the phone. So like this is normal, you know what I mean? This is like not bad. These are mostly just like people that I follow. Whereas on my mobile phone, I don't want to free scroll obviously, but on my mobile phone it's like really bad. Colorado Springs shooter identified as non-binary. The Denver shooter identified as trans. The Aberdeen shooter identified as trans. Nashville shooter identified as trans. One thing is very clear. Modern trans movement is radicalizing activists into terrorists. Insane. Not real. This tweet is not accurate. I think with the exception of the Denver shooter, who I don't know if it was if they were trans or not. I don't know. But I think the Denver shooter actually killed their trans sister in the Denver shooting. Starting April 15th, only verified accounts will be eligible for you in the For You recommendations. Should I step down as head of Twitter? Yeah, this was pretty funny. Here is Elon Musk's Utopia company town.
It's really sketchy to me that we're turning the clocks back and doing like coal miner town situation. I hope that the people who live in those houses and in that community do not get stuck in the trap of the things that you saw in those types of, you know, planned communities for business where you can't buy anything with your money except for the store. Or maybe it's just more convenient for you to go there and kind of make an insular community that basically they become your indentured servants because they have no way to have the mobility out of it.
What I have heard is that, like, say you lose your job, you have a month to get your family out of that house. That's terrifying.
Yeah, it's like an additional level of control that you have over workers. And I think America especially like American workforces, are just cucked right enough that I can totally see them basically advocating for this. Or at least I know for a fact that every Twitter Blue user who's like trying to do a crypto play is going to be 100% advocating for it, while simultaneously never working there. You know what I mean? Never working a day in their lives. Let's be real. Terrifying is being on an H-1C visa, getting laid off, and having to leave the country in a month. Yeah, I mean, we basically do that with what you just it's H-1B, isn't it? With work visas, yes.
We've seen this in history before. We've seen it all over the world, including the United States. We know how this story ends. So I'm not saying that's what's going to happen because I'm not a mind reader.
Did right-wingers just not learn about working conditions in the 1800s or what? Why are they okay with going back to that? First of all, right-wingers don't know anything, okay? Like, what do you mean? They don't know anything. They're right-wingers. They're conservative. If you're conservative, you're just like, you just don't really know anything. Learning is not a concept, okay? That's number one. Number two, capital owners look towards the 1800s and their mouths start watering, thinking about how much they could potentially get away with undermining workplace safety, undermining labor, labor protections. They look at that and they vie for a time that they can go back to that kind of thing. They want it. They look at the unearned freedoms of the current American labor pool, and they think we gotta do something about that.
I'm not a fortune teller, but I will say that all the signs and symptoms of some bull crap going down are afoot.
How will your residents living in your utopia feel about living next to a 2,000-acre gravel mine? Do they really want to live near a great big hole? Do they want to have polluted water? Do they want to have dust in the air?
Utopia sounds very scary. Like if you watch the Star Trek and such, yeah, not good. Or read the books, yeah. The utopia is not usually at all what it's presented to be.
Community notes on the tweet above this say, Elon, the article is false. The claim that Elon is building a city in Texas has been said to be false by Elon. Oh, thank God they put thank God he said the article is false. So now Twitter community notes saying it's false. Well, he filed for it. So did he just like file for it as a joke, as a meme? Like, what's up? Like, that's kind of silly, I feel like.